Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good 7 o'clock in the morning.
I'm trying to get my breath. I'm in shock after your last statement before we went live.
It's 7:06 in the morning on a Sunday in the U.S. right now. So, well, you told me you were thinking about dyeing your beard like
I never thought I was going to dye my beard.
5 days ago, and I was like, "Doesn't look that bad." You got a lot more gray in a week. It did.
That's because I'm fucking working with you, man.
That's how it was for me too. It was like, "Oh, that's a gray hair," and then like, it's just all gray.
I'm embracing it.
Yeah, it didn't look bad. Mine look bad. You weren't making fun of me. That's why it was so bad. You're like, when you go on camera, it's like your beard disappears because it's gray. Yeah. I remember you couldn't see it. It just looked like my head was hazy because of the gray. So yeah.
You had a good you had a goatee, hadn't you?
Yeah.
That was good, man.
Yeah, it was all right, but shaved it off.
Yeah.
I do that every now and then.
Right. Anyways, how you been, man? We haven't done this for a while.
Hey, no, too long. JB is in the house. Good to see you, man. Hey, look, I can do this.
Well, we have a lot to catch up on.
We do. Also do this.
Easy.
Sean.
I got rid of the other video.
I gotta remove that, dude.
I deleted that. That one that was that would make that guy so mad. I really hurt his feelings more.
You hurt his feelings, dude. Yeah, you hurt his feelings, man.
Dude, he's hurt my feelings forever. Remember, they became like a psycho dick. You're like, why are you such a psycho dick? You're like, why you play that video with me? I'm like, oh.
I think he was like he was your version of the mini reindeer. Baby reindeer. Whatever it's called. It's a Netflix fucking TV series that's taking the world by storm about a stalker.
No, you're talking about the wrong person. I'm talking about someone who was rather mad.
Oh, you're not talking about the You Owe Me guy?
Oh, I forgot about You Owe Me guy. That's the whole thing. No, we're going back.
Oh, we're going back before that? Okay.
Years, yeah. Anyone see Biden versus his salad? No. Yeah. They're pushing him hard, though, here, man. They are.
They're pushing him hard, yeah.
It's so... Someone made the perfect fucking... And I swear, dude, I almost fell over when he said it. You know the Met?
Mm-hmm.
The Met Gala?
Yes. It was on last week, I think, or the week before.
Yeah, this person was talking about, all these... what's her name? Zendaya. She went up... She went up in a big thing with birds and shit on her and posed, and they came back 20 minutes later in a whole new dress and everything. She made 2 big entrances. It was fucking weird. But this one person had like 10 like people that had to carry her dress made of sand because it weighed like 200 pounds. They had to carry it around, and they were like little slave people that carried her dress. All this, right? And then this guy says, who can't see that we're literally living in the Hunger Games? And I was like, oh my God. Like he made fun of those people with the funny beards and the weird rich people. And then like literally, if you look at any of those people, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They literally look like the rich people from the Hunger Games. Our rich and famous people. It was so surreal. It was like, geez, you're right.
That's the way it's gone, man. That's the way it's gone, dude.
Oh, Sky Australia is pretty funny, man.
Sky Australia?
Yeah.
Pretty much the same Sky we have here.
Really?
Yeah. It's owned by Murdoch.
Murdoch, so, yeah.
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 Same shit, different name.
Yeah. So say it's all. You can't trust any of it. That's something that's weird. The you know that Umamu thing that was in space. That scientists said it was a spacecraft.
Yeah.
It looked like the whale thing from the Star Trek 3, which is a cylinder, but it slowed down and changed course. So the scientists said that's a spacecraft, and then they got like ridiculed by the scientific community. Don't say that. But it went around Earth, went around the sun, and was gone forever. Fucking came back this week, but no news agency talked about it. But all these like podcasters and other people, all like top scientists, going on their show talking about it because like the main mainstream news didn't want to talk about it. It's pretty weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy out there, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy.
Any good projects this week, dude?
We've been looking at a couple.
Katamoto has turned around. I think it's all the paper hands are gone, man.
Yeah, it's up about 15%.
You look, yeah. Let's have a look at it. I think it's up about 15% today. Yeah,
I'm still down for overall, but
yeah, it's pulled back a bit now. 11. It's the last 7 days. Yeah, I looked at a few of these meme projects, right? That have been around more than 6 months, and if nearly every one of them, this big spike when they launched, obviously, yeah, jump, and then it flatlined for about a month. This is the one that done anything after that, you know. It flat for a month, 2 months maybe, and then fuck rockets.
Yeah, I think when they go on a sex, it's gonna skyrocket because they launched. They went on to Pancake, and I got it opening. Dude, remember because we were together when I bought it. It went from I was putting in like $1,000 or $900, and it went from 1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went after I put like how much on my way scrolling down to the trade, it went from 5 million to 500,000 up to 850,000. And then that's when I finally got to click it. But it was insane for the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
doesn't say it.
You got out. I could have got out at like one. It would have made like 55%, but I left it to sit, and now I'm down about 40%.
Yeah, well, I did got in at the beginning.
Yeah.
Sold it at the top ish.
But that's the thing. That literally that one less than 1 minute, less than a minute maybe of you getting in there made total difference.
Oh yeah, huge, man. Yeah, huge.
Say what you got, man. Tell what you made. Okay. It's real good.
Yeah, well, look, yeah, look, I got lucky on it, right? But you want to get lucky if your buyback, does something. So let's see. I mean, I'm happy to hold this for a couple of months. I think it's going to be fucking great. They're constantly launching projects now, man. They got another IDO this week. I think it's tomorrow, and the market cap on that project is $35,000.
Yeah, it's in the thousands. I remember that. Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. Yeah. So just by having the Kata token that gives you the early entry, it's even if you fucking get rid of it the minute it launches, man, your quid's in.
Remember ApeSwap?
ApeSwap, yes.
Remember how they used to have the golden bananas? You held the golden bananas. You could take part in the IDOs.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a solid way of doing things.
You got a lot of golden bananas.
I did.
I remember saying to you, how do you tell people that you made your money from golden bananas?
I didn't make them from golden bananas, I made them the regular bananas.
Yeah, regular
Dude,
banana.
man, like I was, that was the height of DeFi. I was making ridiculous amounts of money, and I'm like showing Ted and Alex how they can start, like,
Yeah,
making money on DeFi.
banana farms.
Yeah, like farming, and they were like, "Dad, this looks like a website that like elementary school kids use to learn." And I'm like, "Look, it's real." He goes, "So we're making money with bananas?" I was like, "Bananas spilling hills around here, damn it! You better show them some respect." But it's still
Back on the plantation, man.
you show those bananas some respect. Monkey pays the bills.
Yeah. Well, it did for what, year and a half.
At least, yeah. Well, at least, I mean, it was the glory days for a solid 8 months. Now it's so weird, man. Because I had like 5 farms, and it showed you how much everything would. Man, it's so easy to make money back in those days.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It's the beauty about Katamoto, man. It's same principle, but these projects are fucking, man. They're like they're $35,000 market cap. That's insane.
That is terrible. Really, really low. But I made the most money was from I had a farm, and it was bananas or B&B and Seek. And then you did that video on Seek, and I was like, "Oh, this actually looks like a pretty good project." Because back in those days, dude, I would just look at the project. If it didn't look like a scam, I would farm, and it would always be great. Because man, they would pay like 500%, right? But it would only be for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When they're just starting out, so they have some liquidity. 500%. I go look, doesn't look like a total scam. Farm it, and then it would go down to like 200% interest. I'm like, fuck that, 200%. I ain't messing with that. And I go to what the next thing was. But Seek, instead of selling my Seek that I bought, I just said, I'm gonna let that sit. That looks pretty good. I kept that, and dude, I made like about an 80x on it.
Mm-hmm.
That was I forgot about it, and then it was during the what's that one? The little fox. There was a game. Doge. Fox Doge. What? Doji. Foxy Doge.
Foxy Doge?
Yeah, with that guy from, that English dude. There's a producer in Hollywood.
Oh, Doge Dash.
Doge Dash, yeah. It was we're making a bunch of that.
Yeah.
But then I'm seeing the Seek just go up and up, and I was like, man, I wasn't thinking about the Seek because the other one was making money, but the balance in that wallet was just going up and up. And then I think I got out about the top. That Seek was awesome. I got out at about the top.
Yeah, but Doge Dash converted over to Hello Labs. Hit about 22 cents. And has been dying since. It's now at like 3 cents or something.
Yeah, and they had that show. They
season 2 is coming.
Produced that show, is it really? Yeah, I went to watch it, but you have to pay for it to buy it.
That's what you're supposed to utilize the coin for that, the Hello token. But nobody's doing that because they want to fucking hold it. They don't want to spend it, So
you have to. How do you use the hotel coin? I just looked it up on Amazon. It's like $10. I was like,
yeah, it's on Amazon, and I think is it on Apple TV?
No, it's on Amazon. It's made by Amazon, and they do not want you to find it.
They don't.
I had to put in the whole word before it would come up, and it didn't come up with the whole word, and I had to hit search. But before I put any like 1 letter stuff's there, 2 letters, it changes it, 3 letters,
Yeah,
I had to actually go to the end of the word. It was very, very weird.
That's unusual. That's unusual.
Might be because they're trying to distance themselves from crypto.
Yeah. So I have a bit of news.
You're coming out of the closet.
I that was last week's news, dude. I found a good dress this week. You remember?
Oh my!
Oh yeah, here we go. This is good. You remember? I was well, I still do, but I haven't done it for a couple of weeks. Doing the streaming, the Four Aces stuff.
Yeah.
It's the crypto casino is doing that every morning. I haven't done it for about 2 weeks, but
Really? That's lame.
yeah, but I was on vacation for a week and all that
We
stuff.
were started off doing that stuff together and kind of.
Well, I plowed on day after day.
You were. I would go and dude. I watched you. I'd wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning. I watch, put in a comment, go to all the platforms, Twitch, this one, give you a comment, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. But yeah, one of the things we were trying to do was to create the weekly poker tournament for all our viewers and our Discord community. And you know, I spoke to a lot of fucking different providers, BC Games, Wild, lots of them. Okay, told them what I wanted, and none of them were able to come up with the answer. Or anybody that gave us an answer, it just didn't fit our criteria, right? We wanted a private poker tournament that you had to have, you had to meet certain criteria to be able to get in on it, yeah? So I came across this during the week. Bet it. This is the answer to everything, bro.
Are they good with Google?
That's the next stage. I put them onto that.
Okay, because I don't want to get hit for that, man.
But man, this is fucking insane. You can set up your own poker rooms, private poker rooms, customize it all the way you want to, all your own logos and everything. Yeah. You can create your own coin around that, your own NFTs, and you know, I did a review on it. I'll throw the link on it. But my point is, I finally found something, dude, that I think we'll be able to launch our weekly poker tournaments.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's taken a while, but I think this is it, man. Yeah. So, community poker groups, man. So, I just wanted to. I did a review this week. I just wanted to shout out on that because, you know what, man, it was fucking pissing me off that I couldn't. That there was no options out there. You know what I mean? Like even fucking Stake, right? The biggest guys in the game.
I was going to bring them up, yeah.
I emailed them multiple times. I said, listen, we got a community here. And we want to fucking have our own private tournaments. You know what I mean? No interest.
You remember back when they were not giant monolith of internet gambling and sponsoring F1 cars and stuff? Remember back then when they used to ask us, hey, will you talk about us? And we're a good company. And yeah, man. And but we always talked about getting a poker tournament set up with crypto. Remember we talked about it for Divvy. Mm-hmm. I was talking to Ver about it for Bitcoin Cash. Yeah. So to get a coin to sponsor the tournament.
Yeah,
that was
about 4 years ago, 5 years.
Yeah, man, we're like, why don't you guys collaborate and we'll work something together? Have a tournament once a month, maybe. And have it, you know, like the Divvy tournament or the Bitcoin Cash tournament or whatever. And then, but you know, never got it.
It's such a good way to engage communities, man.
Yeah, different communities, crypto all together. But
yeah. I mean, I went as far as where I was talking to a lot of the providers of the games.
This video is here.
Satoshi Sean.
Dude, I'm going to delete.
Supo?
I want to give you fucking admin access.
See, no, dude, I wanted to find his video, but I was like, I don't want to go back through all his fucking videos to find out where he calls me out.
They were the good old days. They were the good old days.
You'd be like, You and your friend are like, he doesn't even know who I am. Superman doesn't know.
Satoshi Sean.
It's like,
All right, man. The good old days.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I'd gone down the road where I thought, right, I'm gonna have to create the fucking thing. But I don't. So that's something for us to do, man. We can bang a show into that together, do a live stream. I'll show you how to play Texas Hold'em, dude.
Fuck you. Did you know you lose all your money without me? Always. That's something Joe Rhodes and Greg, they always say, if it's not there, build it. Just make it yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't let it find it, make it.
Yeah, well, that's where I was, man. I was right fucking there, but it's a big fucking undertaking building anything, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was going to be the last resort, but yeah, yeah. So that's the news. I got a solution to that issue. So that's my big news this week.
That's good. I just saw
Happy, yeah.
that the SEC sent a letter to this company, and it means that they're going to be coming after them. Robinhood for crypto.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's like, man, turn on one of their own.
I was just thinking the exact same thing, man.
Yep.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. They've turned on the golden boy.
Yep, on one of their own, man.
Wow. Yeah, that's fucking funny how you're thinking.
You know, that makes you like the frog and the scorpion thing. Like they thought they're friends. You know, hey man, so with the GameStop and all that, how they stopped.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we'll play along. You like us now? You like us? They're like, yeah, you're a cool kid. All right. Soon as that's in the background, man, we're like, all right, now you brought trading and investing to the common man. You're fucked. Yeah. We're gonna get you. Hey, one thing they did. I mean, they did. Yeah, I used to tell all my family, all my friends, hey, here, just sign up for this app. You get a free stock, and I get a free stock. And it could have been Apple, could have been, whatever. But usually it was like, $10. Mm-hmm. I got like one for like $40, and I had like 15 people sign up for it. So I mean, I got a decent amount of free stocks. But that, like, you got value, Well, if you don't ever do anything, you got a free stock. You owned it, and that really got just regular people that never thought about it or thought you had to have a broker or something get into the market, and those rich folks don't like that.
Yeah, well, that is true. Yeah, I remember when they halted the trading on GameStop and all those. I mean, that was such a fucking that was such a manipulative move. You know what I mean? To be able to just control a market like that.
It was obvious.
I mean, it was fucking. It was horrendous, dude. Yeah. There was a documentary about that on Netflix maybe a year ago. It was interesting. It was interesting in fair as, it doesn't matter what the asset is, man. When the hype comes in, it's insane. People just lose their minds. People buying shit at the top. You know what I mean? And they're fucking leveraging their homes and everything. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
People think it's a crypto. People think it's a crypto sickness. It's not.
We this week World Blockchain Roundtable was what's wrong with crypto and blockchain.
Yeah.
And it was pretty interesting. I mean, you could say it's the scams, or I was very, very articulate when I talked about how we shouldn't have done it the way we did it, because you and I have been in for a while, and we just how it used to be, and it's not this way anymore. This is the point I made, that if you got into crypto, then you went down a rabbit hole.
Yes.
And then you learned how money works and how screwed up the system is, and so on and so forth. You took the red pill. You had to. But
Yeah, you
now,
have a choice.
and we always said, all you got to do is get people to look, and they'll go down the rabbit hole, and then they learn. And it's not like that in reality. You know, I said we hoard ourselves out. We put our hookers on the street, and we got, you know, the masses, but we gave away our control of it, and now that people don't know, I'm putting so much money in this ETF, the Bitcoin ETF. That's, you know, they lose. They don't understand anything. They don't have any of the education, and we screwed it up. We said we
screwed it up.
Just want more people. Just bring them in, and everything will be great. And it's not. The wrong people came in and took control, and now we're
the people we're trying to get away from.
Yeah. And then I remember this Johnny Bravo, smart guy. He's got a good YouTube channel. Him and Ninja, but this is like years ago. He talked about crypto like minimally, but he's always talking about stocks and stuff like that. He's a smart guy, and he said he wanted to have me on because he wanted me to explain how Tether was different than like a central bank, and how crypto. And I was like, you know, you're right, dude. And for like the past 3 years, I've been saying, dude, we should not have built all this on Tether. You know, all the exchanges are all built on USDT and everything. And if it falls, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
It's going to more than hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to more than fucking hurt. It's going to be, well, I don't know if it's going to be fatal, but it won't be fair of it.
Right. That's what I always say. And I think and then I started saying, would it be bad, you know, for us to start over again?
Yeah.
So, but now it's a whole different animal. Now there's, you know, people's pensions, or even it's like 1%, 2% that's involved. It's a different thing now.
Oh, it's a different animal now, man.
Yeah.
Like the professionals are involved now, and that's it.
Yeah. On the show, you know, you said the space, and it used to be the crypto space and the crypto sphere. And Greg said, blah, 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 the crypto industry. And I was like, you're hearing someone say that. I was like, that was cool, man. I was like,
yeah, do you know what? He says a lot of stuff, and a lot of it goes in and out because he just goes so quick, but that's a good one.
Yeah. You know, just the crypto industry. And I was like, we are an industry now. That's, you know, it's not a fringe thing. It's not, it's a, you know, a regular thing. It's in movies and shit now. I mean, they're all stupid, most of them. But like the last Mission Impossible, they talked about crypto and they were sending it, and they're like, you know, there's a little bar going across that the crypto's going. It's like, we only have like 2 seconds to cancel this and get it back. And
I've been calling the crypto sector, man, for about 6 months.
Sector, yeah. We used to make all types of words up, man.
It's not
now it's just the industry.
Yeah, I think industry is nice. I like that, man. It's an industry. It's got its own fucking life now. We're just a tiny part of it now.
But what I mean, I raise a lot of questions that I just don't understand, because we're talking about taxes, and it's a really good, you know, that we're both talking about a project that we've been looking at this week for mining and using solar to do mining. But
yeah.
Here's
so crazy here.
So, you know, Greg he's a lawyer, or was a lawyer.
He was a lawyer.
Yeah, he was a big lawyer. Till he got into, you know, this. All those people are like their hobby is like they're almost a doctor, and all the like the
bunch of people, man.
Like, well, I was going to be a doctor, so I did that for like 2-3 years, and then I thought blah blah blah, and now they're like, oh, then I got into, you know, coding and engineering, so now I'm doing this. But I said, you know, because Lisa said this thing that hit me. She said, if I have crypto and I use it to pay for this, and they give me this, what businesses are the governments? I never touched US dollars. So there was never, and I was like, that's right. And I said, and then when we're talking about mining, and I said, if I have 2 chickens and they lay eggs, and I bring 10 eggs over to my neighbor who has a cow, and I say, hey man, give me a gallon? Can I have a gallon of milk? I'll give you these eggs. And they're like, yeah, I need some eggs. Thanks. Here's a gallon of milk. I said, what part? Why does the government, wouldn't it be involved in that? And they were like, well, they would eventually, or if it was for a certain amount. I said, well, what if I have my house, I got 2 acres, I go dig in the backyard and I find an ounce of gold.
Yeah.
But every month I find an ounce of gold. I never have dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I just take that gold, I cut it up, and I can pay, I pay my bills with this gold. I never have dollars. I don't ever go like do. They're like, no, but you're mining. I'm like, but if I found a rock, and went to my neighbor, I was like, look at this cool rock. It's like, hey man, yeah, can I have this rock? And I'll give you, I said that's not written. They're like trying to. Then they said, yeah, well, they would evaluate. I said, see, they're making a valuation with dollars because we're talking about Roger Ver and how they're trying to. They say that he's fraudulent or he committed fraud because when 20 years ago, when he gave up citizenship in the U.S., they asked him how many Bitcoin do you have, and he said I have X amount. But there was 2 companies that he was a part of that had Bitcoin. Each of the companies. And he didn't talk about that because he said that wasn't just mine. That was the company's.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, it was all your Bitcoin. You should have said how much it was. And it was like 70 Bitcoin in one place and like, 100 or 700 in another or something. But it was, 20 years ago or something. It wasn't 20 years ago. That was,
the thing is, it doesn't matter what unit the transactions take place. The government is always going to want their pound of flesh. You know what I mean?
They do. They do.
Because they assume that you give up 2 eggs, a pint of milk to pay for the running of the country, to pay for the running of the government, and that you're okay with that. That's the way they look at it, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it didn't used to be that way.
Simplified view now, but
it used to be very simple, man. And most people think like taxes have been around, federal income tax forever.
Yeah,
it started like in 1913 when they had started the world banks. But before, and this is very apropos for now. Before, if the government's like, hey, we're going to go to war with this country because whatever, then they have no money. They couldn't print money.
Yeah.
They had to go to the people and say, hey, we want to go to war. Here's war bonds. Buy these war bonds. We, the people, funded the war then. We say, okay, here's money for the war. But if we didn't agree, we just didn't pay for it. And when they started being able to print money, they cut us out of it.
Correct.
I mean, they just sent $160 billion to Ukraine.
Yeah,
they couldn't do that. When our country was set up, they weren't be allowed to do that. We would have to get the money, which we're going to do it anyway in taxes. But they're forced. We were in control of them, and now they are in control of the money.
Georgie is making a lot of sense with that analogy. Governments are just stealing our money and enforcing taxes out of their asses. And you know what? Nail on the fucking head there.
And I asked my nephew this. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to explain to him about inflation, how that's taking money. And I said, how much money comes out of your check now? I said, you're a slave. I said, because the government, you go to a guy and he says, hey, man, I want you to do this job for me. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I'll do this job for this much money. He goes, that's a little bit too much. How about this much money? And you're like, all right, I'll do it for that much money. Yeah, and then you do the job. And then the guy, before he gives you your money, the government takes it and looks at it and says, we're going to take this much. You can have the rest. Yeah. I said, you didn't get what you agreed upon for you to do that job. Yeah. You got whatever the government thought you should have.
Correct.
And he said, no, that's not really like that. And I said, let me ask you this. What if they started taking an extra 30% of your check?
Yeah.
He goes, "Fuck that, man! I wouldn't." I said,
Yeah.
"No, you wouldn't. You're not going to go shoot anything up. You're not. What would you do?" I said, "I want to be grown up. What would you do?" He goes, "I would be really pissed. I complain about it, and then I would just have to work more." I said,
See?
"So you're a slave." I said, "That's it."
That's the system.
And he was like, "Okay."
But you know what's funny? You guys over there, everybody has to declare their own taxes, don't they?
Yeah.
Now I would wonder what would happen if everybody just decided, or 50% of people decided, fuck this, ain't paying shit.
Yeah.
You know, you can't lock everybody up.
That's the thing, but nobody's. That's why I think everyone.
Well, how many people would it take how many people doing that would it take for them to go, wait a fucking second?
It takes 3% of a population to overthrow the government.
3%?
Any overthrow, any successful revolution, 3% of the population.
Well, fuck, you'd imagine we should be able to organize 3%, no?
Because everyone, they're just saying, everybody just wants to go to work, take care of their families, and they don't want to get involved in blah, blah, blah. They just want to live their lives in peace. That's the truth, dude. That's why nothing will happen unless 3%.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all it takes. Most people didn't want to have the revolution in the United States. It was a bunch of rabble rousers, but then the British they like doubled down on shit.
They doubled down,
and that pissed off regular people. And then everybody's like, okay, fine, we're.
That's funny. I've just finished watching a documentary on the Civil War, or the revolution. Yeah. Boston Tea Party, all that. There's well, it's completely different, but there was like the tax thing was an issue then, but it was a different type of tax. It was coming from the British, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at first, they just wanted to have representatives, dude. They're like, we just want representatives in Parliament, But
there's your 3%. You know what I mean? That's where it went.
But Flama, I did a video on Truth Tuesday with Likecoin and Lisa about France. The reason France is going to war, because it bothered me how staunch France called America pussy.
Yeah, Macron is like Macron deep in this.
And I was like, why are they doing this? And then I looked into it. Took me like 15 minutes of actual research to find out why. France did what was called neo imperialism, where they're in Africa and first off, France has more nuclear reactors for energy than any other country in the world, and they get all of their uranium from Burkina Faso. And so they used it. So they have all these African countries that are on the which I wanted to look into this because I thought it was weird. They're on the French franc, which isn't really a relative money in the EU anymore because they use euros. But so basically they took this as neo-capitalism. They're not there. Well, they are. They have their troops. They have more troops in Africa than anywhere else. But they're like peacekeepers. So but they're not involved with the government. They allow all these all the chaos and factions and infighting and revolutions, and so the government's changed it lots of times. But they always have a stranglehold because of the money, and they just basically are taking the resources, just like it was their colony, but they don't have all the headaches. But what's been happening over the past 15 years is that Russia is moving in and goes to the new government and says, hey, let's help you get stabilized. Hey, let's help you get some, food or water. And Russia's actually coming in as a partner in these key countries. So they've been fighting France. France has been fighting Russia in Africa for years in this weird, cold, warm war.
Cold proxy war, man.
Yeah, full on proxy war.
Yeah.
So if Russia's helping the government help the people, then they go and fund the people to overthrow the government when it's actually bad for the freaking regular people in the country. So basically Russia's been hurting their pocketbook and taking money from France. Now, if France goes in there and says, hey, we're colonialists, we're taking over this country, and that doesn't fly anymore, you know? So that's what and they can talk about that, but they're not doing it, you know, because Ethereum, that's going to be what 100% proof of work or proof of stake, right?
Yeah.
What, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you, every senator in the United States is for term limits. I want term limits.
Oh, it's mad. It has
I'll
to
go for it. Well, hold on. It's all just a game, man.
It's all man. It's all a game. It's all a game, and they throw you little bits of fucking crumbs to say that you have like an input. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's meant to make people think they have a choice.
Yeah, it's an illusion, man.
Yeah.
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 I was watching. Was it Joe Rogan was talking about when Woody Harrelson went on Saturday Night Live? And,
Oh, I love Woody Harrelson, man.
And he did that thing. He's like, hey, I got this script, and it was like the drug companies bought up all the media companies, and then they made everyone forced everyone to live in their own home, couldn't leave their house unless they took the drugs, and then unless they kept taking these drugs.
Yeah. And
then the news agencies all said, you have to take this because they owned all the media. And I threw that script away. I was like, who would ever believe this crap?
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan was talking about, and the next day, he basically said that the media is bought and paid for. The next day, the media started talking about calling him an anti-vaxxer and just a pothead who doesn't know what he's talking about and all this crap.
He got a lot of shit his way, but he stood his fucking ground, man.
Yeah, but they said Rogan said they basically acted like a bought and paid for media, you know,
a fucking mob.
Yeah.
Well, just to touch back on the Europe thing, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on over here, man.
I wanted to ask you about that because I've heard
shit.
I've heard things that are nuts. I've heard that certain countries are like the original population is less than the new migrant population. Like it's like 55% migrants versus 45% of Danish or whatever.
In Europe?
Yeah.
I don't know what country you're talking about, but I tell you the one thing. They're all going that way. They're all going that way, man. I mean, there's massive change here. I mean, it's crazy. Not unlike your own southern border, our southern border is wide open, man, and it's financed by the Germans and the French.
Yeah,
you know I mean, they're the guys financing the fucking crossings, man. The boats that once you hit the water, German fucking boats go pick you up, bring you back over to Italy.
Well, we had some stuff come out here that the UN has been helping people come in through the southern border. But see, they're really messing up because the United States, and people don't understand this. People think the U.S. has always been the U.S. and it wasn't. We were like Europe. Our states were like countries when it first started. And I didn't really know this because they don't teach you this in government schools. There was when the Declaration was signed, there was this guy from I think it was Virginia, and he said, "I'm no longer a Virginian. I'm an American."
Yes,
and it's like whatever, but that was such a huge deal because people like I tell people I'm a Texan, and they're like, "Oh, you're from the U.S." I said, "Well, kind of. You know, I'm from Texas, or yeah, I'm from the U.S., but it's different, and it used to be like that. Like there was, like you're in the EU, but you're still in Finland. Finland's still Finland, and I'm Finnish and Hungary. Hungary's still you're Hungarian. You have that identity, and people now think America is just America, but with the southern border, and I saw this stuff coming, and nobody talks about it. Of course, our state government went against the federal government, and yeah. Anyway, our state government went against the federal government, and that's okay. It was a little bit rough, but then in Texas, always said this from the beginning. Texas has its own military, and it's not connected to anything federal. Like even the National Guard, it's only supposed to be able to be called out by the governor. And was it Clinton or Bush were sending National Guard overseas like Iraq and stuff. It was illegal. But we had the Texas Guard. And now it's been changed to the Texas military. And they're the ones that are at the border stopping people, saying, hey, it's illegal. You can't come in here. But the governor said that they were building a military base on the southern border. And I was like, ooh, that's a big step. And it's not a small step. Like I grew up overseas on military bases, and it's like a U.S. town in the middle of Germany or Italy or wherever. You had like fast food there. There was, movie theaters, barbers, gyms. Just it was like everything you wanted in your town. And when he started to talk about the reasons for this base, it was because other states are sending their military to Texas, not just southern states, but like Wyoming and other states. They want to have somewhere for them to sleep. And right now they're paying for hotels. So building this base is actually going to save money. But then you start talking about there's going to be a hospital. There's going to be mental health facility. There's going to be gym and a barber and movie theater. And I was like, that's a real military base. And this is total Texas control. And now we have states. I don't know if you know, but there's Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes.
Half of Baton Rouge moved away from the city and became its own city.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like last week, but the mayor's really pissed. But they were like, we don't feel represented. It's very liberal. The mayor is very liberal, very very left wing, and the policies are terrible. The city's going to shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So this like the southern part of the town incorporated into the whole town and has nothing to do with the town anymore. The part of Oregon's trying to move away from Oregon and become part of Idaho. There's like 3 states that are trying to secede and have like active bills in their legislature to.
That's crazy.
So it's a crazy time, man. It is a crazy time.
It just takes one man to fucking the whole thing is fucking the house of cards can come down.
Yeah, and you had that interview with Joe Rhodes. You and him were talking about this having a war between the states. It's not a war between the states. It's not. See, that wouldn't happen again. It's a war with the federal government.
Yes, it's the federal.
And yeah, I think it will come. But I don't. And I've always said this. I don't think it's really going to be that big of a like it was before. It's not going to be cousins fighting cousins and stuff. I think it's going to be because we're in a war right now. There is a civil war in the United States right now. It's a Cold War. You got like Arkansas passed law that they're going to kick out anyone who's illegal. There's states there's gun laws that have been passed, and like not out of 11 sheriff's departments, like 10 of them said we're not going to.
But then you have states that are trying to give illegal immigrants a vote. It's complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's more of national stuff. Yeah. So anyway, but there's a lot of this Cold War going on right now. I think if it does go to a hot war, it'll be between police departments, like the sheriff's department might fight your local police department. It'll be in the military because they're going to be, here's the orders, and it's like, no, because all the people we're talking about, police, military, they all took an oath to defend the Constitution against enemies from within or without. So if those orders come down, once you get to the lower rank generals, colonels, even a private could turn around, just. So I think that's where it's going to be. Like, if your post, 60% of the troops, say that we're not going to do that, then if it fails. If there's people that, your city police take the orders and start picking up people that have been, saying stuff on Twitter, or, have been not in the right stuff, then the sheriff's department's going to step in and fight them. So I think that's what it would be. If it does go to a hard war, it'll be between mainly like police, sheriffs, and the military. And if it goes further, it goes further. But
if it goes further, man, I'll be over to help you. I got
thank
your back,
you.
brother.
Yeah, I got a gun I'll give you whenever you come here.
Ah, Jesus, yeah, man. I mean, our friend in the chat touched on that we can't. I mean, we cannot bear arms legally in this part of the world. It pisses me off big time.
Which a lot of people are saying that's like the reason that we have as many freedoms as we do, or why we. It's because we have the Second Amendment.
I mean, it's a different world now, man. Everybody should have their own fucking weapon. You mean?
Yeah.
Somebody comes into your house, you should be able to fucking pull the trigger, man. I don't give a fuck.
I'm going
here. You go to jail.
And you can see the Texas military. They're like recruiting. It's not like the National Guard. It's not like hey, you can help people when there's earthquakes and he left mother. Let's see if I can share it.
Oh, sorry. I had to go again.
If you this Texas military, can you? Oh, I'm sharing it. Okay. This is not like helping people and stuff. State Guard, Air Guard, Army Guard. They're wow. This has changed a lot. It changed a lot since the last time I looked at this. It was very
holy fuck, you got a lot.
Very hardcore. There was a lot of military stuff, a lot of kicking ass kind of stuff. It was am I on the right one? The Texas military. Where the Texas military is commanded by the Adjutant General of Texas. The state senior military official appointed by the governor is comprised of the Texas Military Department, Texas Army National Guard. See, that's a different thing. Texas Air Guard and Texas State Guard. America's premier state military organization, comprised of professional mission-ready forces, fully engaged with our communities and relevant through the 21st century. But see, let me see. Go back to
correct, Lama.
You're talking about like war between the states. All the southern states, 100% on board, but it's not just them. It's been so long. But I think New Hampshire was one. How far we went? April 9th. Operation Lone Star. It's a lot of wire. See, it didn't look like they're slowing down any.
That's for fucking sure, man.
There we go. Montana stands with Texas. So you can't get much more northern than Montana. Montana, South Dakota, Indiana, New Hampshire. I mean, that's like next to Maine. That's like halfway Canadian. Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska. So these are all not southern states at the least. So I mean, it is mainly just it's America against the federal government. Our government sucks. It doesn't represent its people anymore. Just like
not at all, man. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as most governments don't fucking represent their people, man, or if they do, they don't give a fuck about them. They give you the illusion that they fucking represent you. But we need, yeah, I've seen that from gibberish, man. We need to do a regular show just on this like non-crypto stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and gibberish. Back when Yeltsin, it was some weird thing he did. He wanted the Queen to put off her speech or some shit that he had to go to the Queen and he asked for, which everyone says that the monarchy is not involved in politics, and I'm like, he had to go do that, and like the other party was real pissed about it, and they kept. And I thought it was a joke, but people were being serious. Like some reporter said, "No, that goes against our unwritten constitution."
Yeah, it's unwritten. Yeah,
and then so I was like, unwritten constitution. That's like, I mean, it was like saying dry water. It doesn't make sense. And then, but then like an MP said, yes, it goes against our unwritten constitution. And then there are people on the street were like, this is against our unwritten constitution. And I was like, oh my God, that's the real thing. They think, but that's why we have the Constitution. It's written. It's, you can stand up and hold it and say, here, this is, right here.
And it was hair gut.
Yeah. And, Biden said something that it's going to, I mean, to a lot of people, it will sway them. But he was talking about the Second Amendment. He goes, hey, man, that's old. The Constitution's old, but it's a living thing. It's made to be changed and updated. That. And, we can change it. It's an amendment. You can change it. And then I was like, well, it makes a lot of sense. And then I thought about it. And I told Ted. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, because I said, Biden said, just, because it's an amendment doesn't mean you can't change it. And he said, well, yeah, every amendment except the Second Amendment. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, every amendment, you could change it, but not second. It literally says, shall not be infringed.
Oh, so it literally says that?
Yeah, it says that. So it's written. So the founding fathers, they knew that the only thing allowing you to have First Amendment speech is that you have the Second Amendment to back it up.
Yeah.
Which nobody ever thought. Did you think?
I tell you what, man.
Did you think 10 years ago that they would arrest people in like Australia and England for posts on Twitter?
Yeah.
Did you ever think that would happen?
Oh my God, no way.
No way.
No way. No way.
Yeah, I mean, we all thought that Europe was just as, freedom loving. If you would disagree with someone, then you disagree.
I tell you what, man. There's been numerous cases here, especially in the last 3 or 4 months, because the Scots brought in some new laws when you can't fucking say this, you can't say that, and people are getting knocks on the door because they've got an opinion. It doesn't line up with the government's opinion.
That J.K. Rowling came out.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And she said, "Well, here, this. I'm J.K. Rowling. You know where I live."
Yeah, she said, "Come knock on my door."
Yep, and they backed down.
Yeah,
but it's sad when that's what it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're sending the cops around to suppress your opinion, not even your opinion, your beliefs.
Yeah, and it's gotten so bad, and America is so divided. And I mean, I use my stepdad as an example.
Mm-hmm.
He's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He was in the military, 20 some years, and in the military, you're not supposed to talk about the president. He's a commander in chief, and he hated Clinton because he real super religious. My mother was, like a reverend. They were very, just because he cheated on his wife. He cheats on his wife even before Monica Lewinsky and all that. He's like, oh, I hate that guy. He's a snake in the grass. He's, but he still he wouldn't say it to other people. He would just be like,
He would just think
don't like him very much. But when he came down for a visit, he would like meet the boys' friends. He's like, hi, how you doing? I'm Ted's granddad. You don't like that son of a bitch Trump, do you?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like, what? I called him the other day, and I always tell him I don't really like Trump. I hate government all around. I think it's all crooked. But if it's Trump or Hillary, it's Trump. If it's Trump or Biden, it's Trump. But so he's like, oh, I heard your friend Trump's blah blah. I didn't say anything. And then he's like, blah blah blah. And then he starts acting like I'm saying something. He's getting madder and madder. He's like yelling. It's like the third thing. I never said anything. He's like, all right, let's just agree and disagree. We'll stop talking about politics because I can't handle any more of this. I was like, yeah, okay. But he argued with me without me saying anything.
I don't argue with anybody anymore. It's a waste of fucking time. People are set in stone. That's it. Sean, it's frozen, I think. Or I'm frozen. Gibberish. Which one of us is fucking gone? I think it's Sean. Yeah, 1 second, guys. Gibberish. Sean's frozen, isn't he? Because we had this problem once before, and yeah, okay, Sean's gone. Okay. Well, we're gonna wrap it up soon, anyways. Let me just see if he's coming back. He may not be. He might have had a power cut in Texas. So he's not online. But I was going to say before Sean disappeared, there's got to be some place out there where people can just live their lives and not have any government fucking input. 1 minute. Okay. He's coming back. Yeah. Yep. So look at Bitcoin is at 61,075 right now. Not much happening this weekend after Friday's drop. But yeah, if you guys are interested in poker, we're going to be launching our weekly poker tournament soon. We're going to be using Bettit as our platform. I did a review on them Friday. There is going to be a link in the description of this video. If you haven't already seen it, head over, check it out. I think Bettit is an amazing buy at the moment. It's got less than 2 million market cap. They've got staking there. And as I said, you can set up your own private rooms. And you know what? While we're waiting for Sean, let me just show you this. That's Bettit, guys. So I'm going to be using them from now on, and I'm going to be doing all my live streams using that platform. So yeah, check out the review I did. It's a very interesting project. So I don't know what's happened with Sean. If he's coming back or not, I'm going to give him 3 or 4 minutes. If he doesn't come back, we'll wrap this up. Speak of the fucking devil.
Would you like me to send a reboot
Speak
signal
of the fucking devil.
Yes.
What happened, dude?
One moment, please. Okay, I sent the signal to your modem.
My internet just went out,
While
man.
the reboot is working in the background.
So
Your what?
my internet went out, so I called them while I was
You were asking too many questions. That's why.
Probably, yeah.
You were poking the bear, man.
Poking the bear. Got mauled.
Well, I was just saying while you were gone that we were about to wrap it up anyways. But I had one question before you got disconnected, and it was, there's surely a place out there, there's got to be, or we got to make a place where we got no big government giving us fucking shit or fucking poking us. I think Sean's gone again. Yeah, looks like it. So, I'm gonna wrap it up today. Let me just go over here and get our brand and banners going. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We're gonna be back next week with another Crypto Rednecks show. Let us know in the comments box below what you think of today's video. And as I said, go check out all the projects we mentioned here today. Don't forget to hit a like and give us a follow. And we will see you again next week.